Hi everyone, my name is Lee and I wanted to explain a little bit about why I decided to become a Beachbody coach. A few years ago, I was starting to have some major health issues, and at the time I didn't have any answers as to why I was having those problems. I was very tired and spent most of my time sleeping in the bed, and I had little energy to play with my children, and when I would sit on the floor, I just didn't want to get up. It was just a struggle to do a lot of things. And when people saw me out and about, they would have never known I had any problems because I disguised it pretty well. When I was out with people, I had a little bit more energy, so I could, do a few things. But when I got home, I was really exhausted and it would really take a lot out of me. And so it would take me a few days to really recover from things. And so for me, it was just a huge struggle because I was used to being very active, and I had always been pretty healthy growing up, or at least what I considered to be healthy. And so when I got to a point where running wasn't helping me anymore, and I would be able to clean up my diet to a certain extent, and then all of a sudden I would have these huge food cravings and totally derail myself, and I was gaining weight at an uncontrollable amount, and I couldn't figure out why it was happening, and no matter how much I worked out, I couldn't keep the weight off. So I tried a bunch of different things. I went to go see a naturopath and spent a lot of money on things that I probably didn't need. I did a horrible cleanse, which made me sicker than all get out. And I had an allergic reaction to that one. That was great. And, I tried colon therapy, foot detoxes. I mean, anything you can think of, I've pretty much tried it all. So, at any rate, I was at a wall when I had seen an advertisement from a friend through another friend who was a Beachbody coach. And so I had been looking at it, and I'm not a person who makes decisions really quick. To me, it looked like it was a lot of money, and I didn't know if I wanted to invest that. And then finally I got a hold of myself and I was like, well, I've already invested this much money in myself. If this doesn't work, well then, you know what, I'll just forget it and I'll just go sleep for the rest of my life. So, at any rate, I'm thankful that didn't work. So I called, or actually emailed Christina and asked her if she wouldn't mind if I could try a sample first. And, that's kind of when everything kind of kicked off for me in a positive direction. She was very not grateful. She was very sweet, and I was very grateful that she dropped off several samples for me to try. And I was concerned I was going to have another allergic reaction to something like that. So to my surprise, the next day when I tried it, I was it being Shakeology, I had a very wonderful reaction to it. I had more energy than I'd had in a long time. I felt better, and I was able to get through my day for the first time in a long time without needing a nap. So for me, we had just moved into our house, so I had been at least taking one nap per day for about 2 years at that point. That was really awesome not to have to need a nap. So the next day, I woke up and I was already thinking about the Shakeology, so I went for it, tried a different, type, because she gave me several different samples, and, was really pleasantly pleased at how it made me feel. So that's where I kind of had the step off with Beachbody. And over the next few months, my body started to change and I started to get my energy back and I started working out. And, after I saw all these huge changes that just really seemed to happen, almost like a snowball effect, one right into the other, with finding the right nutrition that worked well for my body, I decided to become a Beachbody coach. And so I worked at that for about, about a year and a half. And my body was cleaning itself out to a certain extent to where I ended up getting pregnant. And which was totally crazy because I have a 10-year-old and never expected to get pregnant again. I just figured, God didn't want me to have babies anymore. And so I wasn't going to worry about it. So all of a sudden I'm pregnant out of the blue. And, we went to the doctor, didn't go to the doctor yet. I ended up having a problem and miscarrying on that one. And so, through a horrible circumstance, found out that I had PCOS, and that was the key to the root of all of my problems, which evidently I've been dealing with for a very, very long time. So, although it was a very bad situation, probably one of the worst ways to find out you have a health problem, it was, a good thing in a bad circumstance. Some answers to a few things for me. So at that point, I decided to do something called the Ultimate Reset. And that was one of the best decisions I had ever made, because I had tried to clean up my diet so many times before. And this one really laid it out for me very well. And it was very structured to the point where it was using real foods to detox your body. And my point and my goal for that was basically to detox and bring my hormones back, because if I was capable of having children again, I wanted to try. So I went and did the Ultimate Reset, which was 21 days, and it detoxed me slowly and very well. And I learned how to really eat real natural foods, and I didn't really cheat. I had a couple of things where I think I had a couple of chips throughout, the 21 days, but it wasn't very often when I did have a little cheat, and that was like 5 nacho chips, with no cheese. So it was pretty good for me, because I could sit down and eat a whole bag of chips. So at any rate, I ended up losing like 13 pounds, and the week after finishing the Ultimate Reset, we actually conceived, which was a mind blower, because I wasn't expecting that. We were supposed to go back to the doctor. I was supposed to go back on meds, and we were supposed to try that way. So we basically skipped the Clomid altogether, and I conceived the natural way and had a very, very healthy pregnancy. And so I continued with the Shakeology and eating pretty well through that point. So now we're pretty much current. I have a wonderful baby girl. Very, very healthy girl, 9 pounds, 10 ounces. Can you believe it? My husband calls her the Beachbody baby. And so she didn't come out with any diabetic issues. She was solid little girl when she came out, and very healthy. And she's just been a blessing. I can't. It's amazing to me that we haven't had her around. She seems like she's always been here. Ooh, I'm gonna get weepy. So, okay. So now, at the time when I had originally signed on to be a Beachbody coach, it was to try to help people, to motivate them to really help themselves. And now, although I still have those goals as being a Beachbody coach, they've changed a little bit for me. Now I really want to help people who suffer with some of the same things that I go through. PCOS, stinks, and it's a daily thing that you have to deal with. And if you do not get certain things under control, you are basically fighting an uphill battle. So, I've kind of made it my goal now to help some of the other ladies who are struggling with some of the same things that I've struggled with for most of my life. And instead of having them have to fight tooth and nail to figure out what's going to help them, I have some good suggestions, because I've been there and I've done that, and I've tried this and I've tried that, and these things just didn't work, or this did and that didn't. And so, whether or not you use Shakeology or you use Beachbody, you really do need to do something to help yourself. And the excuse of, well, I can't do it, is just a lame excuse for anybody, whether or not you have PCOS or not. So the point of this whole thing is I'm here to try to motivate people to get up off their butt and moving in the right direction, learning how to eat the right foods, because that is ultimately one of the huge roots of fixing a lot of your problems. And of course, exercising a certain amount per day helps as well. It's a whole package. There's not one little magic pill that you can take. You have to do everything. You have to eat well. You have to make good decisions for yourself. You have to try to think positive and not get yourself into an emotional rut and run yourself down. And, and that's, for me, why I decided to become a Beachbody coach, to help other people so they didn't end up where I was, in the bed, half dead and asleep. Who likes that? Nobody does. So you miss your family, you miss all the fun stuff, and you don't have the energy, and now I do. So now I'm not missing stuff anymore, and I'm loving my family, and I'm enjoying being around them, and I want the same thing for all of you. So if you ever see me get a little bit over dramatic on my page, or I start pushing lots of stuff to try to get people to be motivated and moving forward, now you know why. So at any rate, I hope this video didn't bore you to death, and I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoy all of you, and I hope you got to know me just a little bit better. Take care. Bye now.